Hey God, or hey everyone, this is Metal War God, and I have a Vinyl Hunter update. Stuff I've gotten last week, and it wasn't a whole lot, but in addition, some of it is a couple albums I got in the mail, and anyway, let's get to it. I just want to say what is playing in the background is actually a Grail I found, and when I initially ordered this, I thought it was an original copy, but I guess I didn't read the details enough, but either way, I'm so happy with what I got. In fact, I'm overwhelmed by what I got. And this band is from, let's see, what was it? This stuff was recorded from 69 to 1972. As far as I know, they only did one album, and there are maybe some bonus songs that they added to this. Band is out of Canada, and I'm talking about the band Morley Grey and the Only Two. This is on Sundazed Records. It is a gatefold. And a fantastic hard rocks, maybe a little psych, maybe a little bluesy at times, but not a lot, but great packaging. You get this poster, which was very cool. So yeah, let's see, The First Supper, Morley Grey. Like I say, as far as I know, that they only released one album. Originals are very hard to find. It has a history of the band right in here, and just great 60s, 70s, late 60s, early 70s hard rock out of Canada. It's kind of it's a grail for me, a grail find. I was glad to get it. And this is a trio: Tim Roller, Mark Roller, and Bob Lanive. But anyway, good stuff here. If we ever see this, pick it up. Up next, a couple of albums. Well, this one I got through the CD Cassette Asylum on Facebook. This I bought through Sean Weingarten. Weingarten, I believe is how it's what his last name is. It's kind of like you bid on an album. If you win it, you win it. You don't pay any fees, you just pay for the shipping and whatever the album cost was. And he had this on here, and I did not have this. I had it on CD though. And I was absolutely glad I picked this up. And I'm talking about the album Headstone, The Best of UFO. And of course, this is basically tracks from I believe 69 to 83, various US UFO band member forms. Of course, there's the tree, and it has let's see, such members as Rudolph Schenker, of course, from the Scorpions. Well, UFO, which kind of branched out into other forms of the band, which of course are the Scorpions, Skid Row from 71 to 73, Whitesnake, Lone Star, Wild Horses, Michael Schenker, but a lot of these are tracks from those early days, from all those bands, UFO, Dr. I was happy to pick this up. I mean, the album's in, it's actually a double album with the Pete Frame Family Tree, which includes tracks by Whitesnake, Scorpions, Lone Star, plus 5 tracks recorded live at the Hammersmith in 1983. So great find. I was glad to get this. And yeah, like I say, it's from August of '69 all the way up to April of '83. And some of the members of the Tree include, of course, Phil Mogg, Pete Way, Bernie Marsden, Andy Parker, Mick Bolton, Paul Chapman, Michael Schenker, just a who's who of early UFO and other influences from this. But anyway, I was just happy to pick this up, and like I say, I had it on CD, but I did not have this on vinyl. A huge UFO fan. And then I had a couple of albums. Well, one I seen anyway. I was I usually go up to Vinyl Giant in Fargo, probably once every 3 months. And I follow their I follow their Facebook site when they post vinyl. They do post a lot of popular stuff that you see around, and then they post a lot of different stuff. Not a lot of heavy metal, very, very little heavy metal, some hard rock. Anyway, this was one of them that I seen, and they hadn't posted a price. So I was on my way up to Fargo last week for a doctor's appointment, so I decided to stop. I went in, and they still had this Fanny, all-female band. I'm trying to remember, these are two sisters, and I can't think of the name. Great stuff. Just think of, oh God, I'm trying to think of who you can maybe match them to. But great keyboards, or keyboard influenced, guitar driven, great female, hard rock, vocals, great bass, and this is their self-titled album, Fanny. Of course, there's the back, and there are a couple album or lineup changes in this, but this is their first. Great stuff. Early hard rock from the female-fronted band. Of course, there was Bertha. And then later on you had the Runaways, but these actually, this band Fanny came before them, and good stuff, very, very good stuff. If you have not ever heard this, definitely look for this stuff. But I did pay a little bit for this. Album's in pretty good shape, vinyl's in pretty good shape, can't complain. I think I paid like 24 bucks for this, which I guess being used, I can't complain. But anyway, great stuff. In addition, I was going through all the stacks. I went through just about everything that they had in there, as far as not really spending a lot of time going through, because most of the stuff I have already seen. Sometimes they'll add in stuff that they had in their new section, new used section. They'll filter it in among the other the A's, the B's, the C's, or whatever, you know. Anyway, there were a couple of racks down below that were holding vinyl, and I went through it, and I actually was shocked. Came across another Fanny, and this one is Rock and Roll Survivors. This is if I'm not mistaken, this is a 5-piece lineup this time, and this is actually has, no, it is a 4-piece. It has Bree Howard on drums, Nicole Barclay on keyboards, Jean Millington on bass, her sister, I think it's Joan, left, and Patty Quattro is on this one. Of course, Patty Quattro, that's Susie Quattro's sister. Patty Quattro, there was a band in the mid to late 60s, and I can't think of the name of the band. They're out of Detroit, which was an all-female band. And so Patty Quattro had joined this Fanny. And this one came out in 1974 on Casablanca. This one, I believe, came out in, I think it was 1970. 1970, 1971. Anyway, But I came across this fanny, so it was a bonus that I found this, so I was happy to get this. This is kind of more, I don't know, you can see by the pictures a little more glam influenced here. And, but still, I have not got a chance to hear this yet, but if the first one is any good, I know this one's going to be just as good. I think they put out 5 albums, if I'm not mistaken, 4 or 5. But anyway, here's some Fanny Rock and Roll Survivors. And then also up there, I was going through their stuff, and like I say, every once in a while they'll add stuff in that I didn't see the last time. And I came across a band called Copperhead. Self-titled album on Columbia Records from 1973. Actually, it's on CBS, Columbia, and but I looked them up, and all the indications was good early 70s hard rock. First comes with the inner sheet here and their liners. So I was happy to pick this up, adding to the ever-growing 60s, 70s vinyl that I did not have back in the early days, because of course in some places you're limited as to where you can find it. But as far as I know, get this in here, good 70s, early 70s hard rock. So anyway, I'm looking forward to this. And then excuse me. While I like some of this band's materials, I'd rather hear more of the obscure stuff, and I came across this Jay Giles band, Icebreaker. I've never seen this one, and this came out in 1985, and the songs on here aren't very long. I believe this is on this is printed in West Germany, and this label, I believe, does stuff like this with other bands. Of course, the red platinum label, and German release, printed in Germany. So I'm going to guess this is some early stuff that was repressed or reissued on this label. And I just prefer the early Jay Giles, Bloodshot, even earlier than that. And trying to get this in there, we go. But anyway, here's some Jay Giles band with Icebreaker. And then I've seen members in the VC talk about this. I'm not sure if they showed this or not. I came across this as well. Last time I was there, it was not there. And I'm talking about a band called Tease and their album One Night Stands. And this came out in, oh God, I want to say, what was it? No, I'm not going to find a date. It's got a little wear down here, a little tear. And let's see here. 1979, it just came out. So I'm anxious to hear this. Late 70s rock. Aquarius Records, let's see here. What I had, Aquarius. I believe that's what I had, was Aquarius Records. Oh, it's on Capitol, sorry. But anyway, I believe Tease has a couple albums out. This is one of them, One Night Stands. So check it out. And then came across some Crocus. I posted the pictures of this one, and somebody said I should have just not even picked it up because it wasn't very good. Well, I love Crocus. I'm a completist when it comes to certain bands. I usually like to have all their vinyl, and some of this stuff was hard to find, but I finally picked up Crocus. Change of Address from 1986, and anyway, this is not quite the full band, but the original band, but anyway, I was glad he picked this up. And then I did have this at one time, and this was there. It's the cover's in a little bit of rough shape, got a little bend in the corner, but I picked up Crocus one vice at a time. Pinnacle time of their career. This is some great stuff. Vinyl's in pretty decent shape. Covers and like I say, could be better, but I'm not going to complain because I don't see this very often. And of course, this has the classics: Long Stick Goes Boom, Bad Boys, Ragdolls, of course, American Woman, and of course this one. What this came out 84, 85, I believe, 82 actually. This came out. So I'm happy to pick this one up. I did pick up another one, and I did have it. The Blitz. It was fairly cheap. I pick up copies like that, and I send them to members of the VC, so more likely that'll go too. And then a few more mail items I got. Either they're new. This one here. I'm trying to find as much of this band's material as I can on vinyl, and I picked up some more Golden Earring and Something Heavy Going Down live from the Twilight Zone. And this is on 21 Records, Polygram. It's part of Polygram. Of course, it has Long Blonde Animal, Twilight Zone, Radar Love. This came out in 1984. And I was just happy to pick this up, of course. Like I say, it's on 21 Records. And slowly but surely, I am getting a lot of these on vinyl. A lot of the earlier stuff is hard to find, but I do come across it every once in a while in stores. But Golden Earring, Something Heavy Going Down. And then these were all stuff I got in the mail. I do a 60s, 70s flashback show. I have a site on my Facebook where I post videos from bands back in the 60s and the 70s, and I link them from YouTube to my site. And this is a band that caught my attention. A Dutch band, and the band is called Cubby and the Blizzards. And this album has been reissued on vinyl, and the album's called Desolation. It's basically a blues-influenced hard rock, and great stuff. And let's see here. It's originally came out in '66 on Mercury Records. And let's see here, it was reissued, I believe, 2015. Brand new sealed copy, reissue. Music on vinyl, Dutch vinyl masters. So I was happy to pick this up. And another reissue from a band. This band is from Australia. And I played this on my show. And like I said, this has been reissued, Blank Records, Warner Music out of Australia, and I'm talking about the band Buster Brown. And Something to Say, of course, Buster Brown was a Soul 74 album from Australian hard rock band that actually launched careers of Angry Anderson, of course, of Rose Tattoo, Geordie Leach of Rose Tattoo, Phil Root of AC/DC, and but this is actually the first time it's been issued on vinyl. So check it out. I'm just happy to pick this up. Of course, you can see Phil Root in there. So yeah, good stuff here. And then I've always been a fan of blues, rock blues, more electric blues, guitar and orientated blues. And I remember, God, I want to say it was back in 96, 97, maybe 98. I believe it was about 1996. I was really heavily into the blues scene at the time, buying a lot. And the first album I ever bought from this artist was called Ledbetter Heights, and I'm talking about Kenny Wayne Shepherd. And this is his latest offering, which is called Lay It On Down. And this is actually under the Kenny Wayne Shepherd Music Incorporated. It's got some good stuff on here. Of course, Noah Drake on vocals on this. Kenny Wayne Shepherd sings quite a few songs, which is good to see because normally he doesn't sing a lot. But so I picked this up for a decent price. Of course, it has a download card in it, which probably I won't never use. But anyway, so Kenny Wayne Shepherd, Lay It On Down. So anyway, guys, that is the latest with mail update, or actually the Vinyl Hunter, excuse me. But anyway, I hope you enjoyed that. Leave comments below, and I'll see you next time on Metal War Gods Video Mail Update. Take care, everybody.